Today we're going to talk about some of the problems that people have when they're using hot or strip wax. So firstly, I want to talk about using strip wax in a cartridge system. It's important that you heat the cartridges up so that when you turn them upside down, the wax is coming out. Now, before you put it onto the skin, you need to actually roll it onto a strip, get the wax rolling out, and then you're ready to apply it to the skin. If it doesn't easily run across the skin, then your wax is too cold. If it's too hot to hold in your hand, then your wax is too hot. When you're using a spatula as opposed to a cartridge, you need to be careful that the wax, once again, is not too hot. It won't spread if it's too cold, so it's quite visual to know that your wax is the right temperature. Lots of wax pots have different temperature dials, so you really need to focus on visually what the wax should look like and also what it feels like. If it's too cold, the wax is already setting up, so it's not going to actually set up around the hair shaft and rip the hair out properly. If it's too hot, when you twirl it a few times to take it out of the wax pot, it's going to run off your spatula. You're going to know it's too hot. Once again, it's a visual thing and it's something that you need to feel and test before you put it on your client. Another thing that we need to remember is the type of skin we're working on and the age of the person. Always prep the skin. If somebody has skin that is a little more sensitive, you might use some talcum powder or some cornstarch. Some people use rice powder. Whatever you choose, just to remember to always look after the skin and make sure that you use your post-care. It's important if you're using Jax Wax products that you cleanse the skin with our pre-wax cleanser, you use our oils and our lotions. You don't want to go mixing other products in case there is a problem. If your strip wax is not rolling on the skin correctly or you go to remove it and it's already set up, what you need to do is use a bit of friction before you remove it. There's no reason that your strip wax won't remove the hair if it's at the correct temperature. Don't use a strip that gets heavily laden with wax. It's going to drag on the skin. Always make sure that you're ripping parallel and fast when you're removing the wax. Another thing that I often hear is people say that hot wax won't remove all of the fine hair. It's important to use the reverse method when you're waxing areas with vellus hair, like the lips and the face. So you apply with the direction of the hair growth first and against the direction of the hair growth second. If your wax isn't spreading on smoothly, it's too cold and it's not going to work properly. If it's not removing all the hair, it's your application. Check your application, check your temperature, and refer to our training manuals and videos to actually see what the wax should look like when it's applied correctly. So we're just going to talk about strip wax and why you would use a cartridge system over the old-fashioned spatula. I find that using cartridges for large areas are much faster. It's a lot cleaner, and as long as you're cleaning the cartridge and using it individually for each person, there's no risk of contamination. So yeah, for large areas, it's much faster, it's a lot easier, and it's more efficient to use a cartridge system. Okay, so the last thing that I wanted to talk about is I often get asked, which wax should I choose? So I say to people, if you're just about to change over to Jax Wax Australia products, the things you need to think about are things like what fragrances you like, what color you like. If you're living in a very cold climate, you might want a wax that is faster to use, like a hot wax that sets up a lot faster. But basically, if you've got any questions, always contact us and we can help you with your decisions.